According to news, Russia is currently sending India a list of more than 500 products in order to provide domestic companies with the parts needed for cars, planes, and trains. Due to the continuous sanctions of European and American countries, the supply of some key products in Russia has been blocked. Faced with this situation, Russia began to ask India for help, hoping to get India's help. According to Russian news reports, this list is 14 pages long, including the required automotive engine components, including ignition coils, pistons, and oil pumps. In terms of aircraft parts, Russia requires a total of 41 items, including landing gear components, communication systems, fire extinguishing systems, fuel systems, and life jackets, etc. In the past, only India needed Russian products, especially since the outbreak of the Russia-Ukraine conflict. The Modi government as purchases of Russian oil, coal, and fertilizers have soared, which once made India's trade deficit bigger and bigger. Data show that from February 24th to November 20th this year alone, India's imports from Russia increased nearly fivefold to $29 billion, nearly 3 times the $6 billion in the same period last year. Separately, while India's purchases of Russian products soared, India's exports to Russia fell from $2.4 billion to $1.9 billion. In short, India's dependence on Russian products is increasing, while Russia's dependence on Indian products has dropped from a little bit to almost nothing. At this time, Russia sent India a list of more than 500 products for help, according to sources in the Indian government. With the help of this list sent by Russia, India's exports to Russia can be increased to nearly $10 billion. So far, from India's point of view, what kind of list is this? This is simply a big gift that Russia took the initiative to send to itself. However, considering that they may be sanctioned by Europe and the United States, some Indian companies are still hesitating whether to extend a helping hand to Russia. The Director General of the Federation of Indian Export Organizations said bluntly, exporters are a bit hesitant, especially when it comes to sanction projects. Obviously, India is still a little worried that it will be sanctioned by the West for extending a helping hand to Russia. But who can refuse such a big temptation? Some Indian exporters are worried, but the Indian government is not worried. The information we have learned so far shows that the Indian government is very willing to use this method to promote exports to Russia for the sake of balancing trade balance. Although this is very likely to offend the United States. Having said that, it is not the first time India has offended the United States. As early as its refusal to impose sanctions on Russia, India has actually been confronting the United States. In short, once the cooperation is reached, it will be a win-win situation for Russia and India. India can take this opportunity to develop its own industrialization, and Russia can get out of the plight of being sanctioned on spare parts. Only the United States is not happy. It is not wrong for Russia to seek help from India, but it is also adding salt to the wounds of the United States. America will be very sad. The United States has been persuading India to maintain consistent actions with the United States, because the United States is worried that if one country does not listen to the United States, other countries will follow suit. But India can take this opportunity to speed up the development of its own industrialization. Who will be the follower of the United States? More importantly, the trade between Russia and India will use the ruble or local currency settlement mechanism, which is a very beneficial opportunity for the two parties to promote the de-dollarization process. And it is also leveraging the hegemony of the dollar.